Hey there, welcome to this video. I'm going to try and make it a quick one, just an update on my progress in this latest patch of Path of Exile 2, Fate of the Vaal. I'm playing as Druid. I tried to stream me playing through the campaign, but to be honest I found it difficult to find a build that was kind of working for me with Druid in the beginning, but I'm now at Act 3. Temple of Chaos, which I'm going to clear while we talk through this build. And I'm playing as a dragon because I think it's fun. I don't think it's necessarily the most efficient build, but it's one that I've been enjoying playing. So for my Ascendancy, I picked up Elemental Damage and Turning of the Seasons, which gives me exposure damage and extra damage of a random element, which I think is pretty good with the dragon. I picked up these nodes up here in the beginning, going to Bastion of Forest and then across to Radial Force and Guardian of the Winds. The armor and the energy shield helped me survive in the early game. I then went across and picked up these damage nodes, picked up this shape-shifting damage node, and then up to here. When I started having issues with mana, I picked up Sturdy Mind, but you may or may not need to do that. I also went up here and picked up Hinder on hit with spells. I think this is pretty good. I tend to proc it through Volcano or Thunderstorm, and Hindering is quite a strong debuff that slows enemies, which will affect their... I think it affects their cast speed as well. But anyway, I picked up that. I went across here, picked up the attack damage and immobilization build-up. The dragon, I thought it was spell damage to begin with, but it turns out that it's looks like it's classed as an attack. So these spells actually build up the stun bar, which is pretty cool. Went across here, picked up the projectile damage, which helps with rolling magma and the volcano. I clicked on this and got the reduced projectile speed because apparently I think that helps the rolling magma bounce closer together, which might proc the volcano more. Not sure. Anyway, picked up the shape-shifting attack damage. Not super sure whether Wyvern's Breath is necessary or not, but I picked it up anyway. These three I would take for sure. Increasing attack damage if you shape-shifted to an animal form recently. I picked up these nodes for a total incineration. Again, not 100% sure if that's most efficient, but I'm doing it anyway. And I'm going up here into this dragon tree. My plan is to grab the dragon tree, these elemental damage nodes, probably the fire ones and maybe the electric ones, not sure, and maybe dimensional weak spot if that turns out to be a good use of a node, but we'll see. And also I want to get these bear ones, although I don't plan to be a bear. I will be immobilizing enemies as a dragon, and I will be shape-shifted and doing fire damage, so these could be pretty good. And also maybe these rage ones later down the line. So yeah, let's clear through the Trial of Chaos. One thing that's pretty important is to make sure that your talisman is strong. I'm pretty sure this will have an effect on how strong your skills are, but still figuring that out as well. I picked up this one from the market, which I think is really good. Increased elemental damage with attacks, increased general damage all over the place, increased stun build-up. I thought that was really good. And I also picked up this staff to help with some casting as I'm out of the dragon form. Okay, so let's have a look at these. Time Paradox. Vaal Omnitect. Buffs expire 3 times faster and debuffs expire 3 times slower. I think we just take this. So the skills that I have is Rolling Magma, Devour, Wing Blast, Oil Barrage, Thunderstorm, and Volcano. My typical rotation is to drop the Volcano down, drop the Thunderstorm down, and then just Rolling Magma. I find Oil Barrage is really strong at the moment, at this point in the game. So I try to pick up some corpses. Hold on. It's hard to talk and cancel it. Try to pick up some corpses when I get them from these minions. It's hard to talk. Try to pick up the minion corpses because that then helps me proc. Well, it lets me use the oil barrage like this on these guys. Otherwise, I'm rotating between, like I said, the volcano, thunderstorm, and then rolling magma. The Devour also acts as a cull. So when enemies get low, you can eat them, which is pretty cool. And so I tend to use that a lot on bosses as well. So main sources of damage will be your rolling magma. If you want to be able to be mobile while you're moving around, rolling magma is really good. And you kind of want to use it on top of the volcano because it procs more projectiles from the volcano. But if you can't do that, it's not the end of the world. If you need to just keep moving. But yeah, volcano, thunderstorm, and then spam rolling magma. If you don't have any power charges, you can spit oil and then set that oil on fire with the rolling magma. That didn't do it actually. Just because you beat the first it sets the ground on fire. Not sure how much more damage that does, but it's still pretty... It's like extra damage if you can remember to do it. Let's have a look at this. Challenge area, lightning projectile, I think that's fine.
Sluggish shadows burden with choice.
When I do the Trial of Chaos this early, I don't really care about the items that it's going to give me. I wasn't sure whether... Hold on, let me just concentrate this first bit. I wasn't sure whether... whether you could buy items from other players early in the game or in Path of Exile 2, but I did manage in Act 3 to buy this. Maybe you can buy stuff earlier, but one tip I'd suggest is saving any currency you get, like Exalted Orbs or whatever, saving that to buy items from other players rather than trying to craft your own things, because you can get, I think it's a lot better value for money. And there are also, in this league, the Vaal Temple areas that let you craft, use Exalted and other crafts on items. So you could maybe pick up an item from somebody else that's already pretty good and then empower it more through the temple. I've yet to do that. I've just generally been crafting some basic gear through the temple, but yeah, when you get currency from the Vaal Temple like circle things, Vaal Temple power-up things, as you go through each of the maps, I would use that currency on other players' items and pick them up where you need them. I very recently picked up some movement speed boots, which I think are really helpful. This 25% increased move speed makes everything feel so much smoother. And I also picked up these weapons at the market. Let's carry on. Let's see what they're saying. Rings of Doom, Pyramid Beams, monsters gain increased skill speed. That sounds a bit dangerous. Pyramid objects appear, projecting 4 rotating lasers. Rings of Doom appear, which grow over time. Maybe Impending Doom. I do have armor. Well, actually not that much armor, only 35% reduction.
Don't fall behind.
Let's give it a go anyway. Let's see whether it's enough. So on this trial, we just basically need to escort this statue. And if we don't, it falls down. Just gonna spit fire on these lines. Let's get out of this. Then take a lot of damage.
Nature takes what's old.
Let's get back to the statue. Oh my gosh, I just jumped into that and took so much damage. I probably should not have activated that one. But that's okay. People are going to drop down from here. Okay, it's just one guy. Let's get out of the red ring. Spit fire on these guys. It's not even fire, it's electricity. That's what I don't really get. I don't get why it's electricity and oil rather than fire and oil. Get some corpses. Spit. Let's get out of the red ring. Let's wait for the red ring to expire. Is it going to expire? Oh, that's pretty unfortunate. Oh, can I be in the middle of it? This wouldn't be so bad if I don't die. Yeah, so I can be in the middle. That's cool. It's like the Shaper ring. Although in PoE1 I never really understood how the Shaper ring worked. I didn't want to test out whether I took damage in the outer ring, but it seems just the same as that, to be honest. Let's just wait for it to explode. Okay. This is going to take forever. They keep spawning just on top of me. Okay, let's roll through. Kind of an audio cue that it's going to explode. Okay, cool. It's going to let me out. It might be easier to show my rotation on a boss rather than doing this really awkward thing. But notice how I just kind of spammed the rolling magma
This is just the beginning.
when I didn't have time to stand still and spit the oil. And I think this build will change. Let me just check these. How much? What's my lightning resistance? I've got loads of lightning resistance. I'm going to take this Stormcaller. I think this build will change as I progress because I haven't got all the skills yet. Oh, is this the boss? Okay, let's just focus on this.
Don't stare.
Try not to get washed out by the boss. So as we know, my physical damage reduction is very low. Go. Whoa. I don't like the look of these. Don't like the look of this ring. I'm gonna try and get in the middle. So notice how I'm about to stun him. Try to spit. Nice. I got a lot of energy from the stun. So when they're ready to stun, you can use the wing clap to stun them, and then it gives you power charges. And then I used my oil barrage, which does so much damage. The only issue with it is that you kind of have to stand still while it gets cast. So I'm about to finish. So quick recap. You can use your Thunderstorm and the Volcano and spam these on top of it. You can also spit some oil to set the ground on fire. That could be good, but I'm still getting used to that rotation. And then once you've got power charges, you can hold R to spit the oil if you're in a safe position, and that does a ton of damage. And then you devour any corpses that you can to be able to spit oil when you want to spit it as well. So yeah, hope that helps. If you've got any questions, feel free to leave a comment. I'm going to try using
Your merits are not
with my next points. I'm going to try Apocalypse and see whether it's any good. It might not be, and if it's not, then my plan is to drop Turning of the Seasons and Apocalypse, and then go into Druidic Champion and Furious Wellspring, because that looks pretty good actually. Adaptation. That could be an option as well. Anyway, Furious Wellspring, because it looks like one of the abilities. One of the abilities for the dragon at the end uses Rage as well, like the bear does. So we'll see. But for now, I'm going to pick up Apocalypse and see whether that's any good. You become a walking Apocalypse, triggering one of multiple powerful elemental skills while this buff lasts. 12 seconds. I think this should be pretty good. I think it's quite expensive to drop these nodes, but I'm now selling some of the rare items that I get, so I get some gold, so it shouldn't be an issue if I need to change. Okay, hope that helps. Catch you later.